Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service. We are the only show in the metro area that talks about business expansion, real estate, construction, economic development, really anything related to Omaha becoming more vibrant and more prosperous. Thank you to our show sponsors, our title sponsors. They are Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym, along with Dingman's Collision Center for metro area locations. Well, my co-host Trenton Magid has the weekend off, and in his place we have a very familiar voice, Brad Williams, owner of Brad Williams Photography, and with E&A Consulting, a civil engineering firm. Good morning, Brad. Welcome back.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me back.
Thanks for always being here. Everyone knows Brad because he's on a lot of times as a guest host and whenever we do our call-in show. But don't get your hopes up. We're not taking calls today because we have so much news to share with you. First of all, we do want to acknowledge it is Berkshire Hathaway weekend, which means that 40,000 people are in and around CHI Health Center Omaha today from numerous countries across the globe. It's my understanding that hotel occupancy last night was way in the mid 90% range. So Berkshire Hathaway weekend, Brad, is one of our 2 Super Bowls along with the CWS.
Yeah. Speaking of the hotel occupancy, when I left to come here this morning, there was a family from out of town standing at the street corner up the street from my house, all wearing their Berkshire passes, waiting for Uber to come pick them up.
So someone in your neighborhood is cashing in on the hospitality industry this weekend. Good for them.
Yeah.
I like the entrepreneurship. Well, hey, we've got a couple of new sections in Grow Omaha, and we started these just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They are nonprofit news and arts and culture. Nonprofit news, arts, and culture. They're in both the newsletter, which comes out every Thursday, and they have their own sections online at growomaha.com. And we also have 2 new sponsors we'd like to mention. One of those sponsors is Watkins Concrete Block. They are the title sponsor on the homepage at growomaha.com. And then also Spa Collective. Spa is spelled S-P-A-W, like a combination of a spa and a pet's paw, because it is a dog grooming business, and they are the sponsor of the arts and culture section, Spa Collective, located at 108th and Q Street. Well, let's go straight into our news of the week. It is brought to you, as always, by Eagle Mortgage. It has been brought to you by Eagle Mortgage for nearly 10 years, and we appreciate Eagle Mortgage being such a loyal part of the Grow Omaha show, and you'll appreciate them if you're looking to buy a new house. You know, it's the American dream right now, and it's spring, so a lot of people are getting serious about that. So stop by Eagle Mortgage. They can help you with traditional FHA, VA loans, some specialty loans as well. Holly Schneidwin and her team at Eagle Mortgage will do a good job for you. They're located at 114th and Davenport, or online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. All right, Brad, a couple of fairly big stories this week. The first one, Gamescape by Cinemark, an indoor entertainment attraction, will be the first tenant at the $850 million Crossroads redevelopment. This is according to Woodbury Corporation. They're the Salt Lake City-based developer, which has taken over the Crossroads and has big plans for it. The soon-to-be constructed building, we think it's going to be 92,000 feet, because that's what Woodbury said back in December when they took over. They didn't say the name of it back then, but they said a 92,000 square foot entertainment center. Now, this Gamescape is a new concept. It's from Cinemark, which is a major theater chain. Heretofore haven't been in Omaha, but they're based in Dallas, all over the place, hundreds of theaters. But this is a new concept. The only one that currently exists is in El Paso, Texas. This is expected to be the only one in Nebraska.
Yeah, it's great to see something new to Omaha like this, to be a real draw to that Crossroads area. You know, there's so many people in this town that have been waiting for years and years for Crossroads to finally get going, and to have a major destination, it's going to be a very good anchor for them.
Yeah, what a great choice for an anchor tenant. And this place, to get you an idea about what it's all about, it'll have a full-blown movie theater in it, but it'll also have a full bowling alley, a game arcade, laser tag. There'll be a full-service restaurant in there. So it'll be quite a place. Maybe kind of, think about that new spare time business that's in Lakeside, Western Road, but with movie theaters.
Yeah, replace the mini golf with movies, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a nice addition, and we expect to get more and more announcements from Woodbury about Crossroads as we go along. Groundbreaking for Gamescape is expected to occur in June. Well, other big news item after 30 years of existence, Ameristar Casino Riverboat in Council Bluffs is making some big changes. The first change is no more riverboat. The casino will move to on-land casino services in a building. And the other big change is after this $200 million renovation project is done, it won't be Ameristar anymore. It's going to become a Hollywood casino, which is the top casino brand from Penn Entertainment. Big changes happening there.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it took so long. Harrah's, they got rid of their boat pretty quick after that was allowed to move everything on shore. And Ameristars seem to keep it. And, I think with the new competition in town, it's probably spurring some changes to modernize and attract a new generation of people over there.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head there. Now that there is full casino gambling in Omaha with Warhorse Casino, I'm sure they have to up their game. It's been so long since I've gone into a casino. I didn't even realize they were still using the boat because I kind of thought they were like Harrah's and had moved to the on-land casino. But in an article that Isaiah Ong wrote for us in GrowOmaha.com, he said that it hasn't been announced where the boat will go. So I imagine at some point they'll float it down the river and it'll be used for something else somewhere else.
I thought I remember when Harrah's got rid of theirs, it just went to the scrapyard. So I don't know what kind of market there is for used riverboats.
Well, there might be a glut of them because people are not using them for casinos like they used to, but time will tell. Another big real estate development is in the very early stages. It's called Gretna Crossing. Now, Gretna Crossing is not to be confused with the Gretna Crossing Park in Gretna. This is the Gretna Crossing Shopping Center, and it'll be on the southwest corner of 192nd and Highway 370 in Gretna. It will be developed by the Lerner Company, highly respected local real estate company that really focuses on retail. This is a 70-acre site, half a mile of frontage along Highway 370, ultimately expected to have up to 500,000 square feet of retail space. The project is expected to create 1,400 permanent retail and service jobs, and no groundbreaking date has been set because it's really early. Brad, I think the story here from a Grow Omaha perspective is this West Highway 370 corridor is absolutely blowing up.
Yeah, it's exploded. Hy-Vee was kind of the first to develop out there, and since they started, you go from there all the way almost to 204th Street now. It's just everything is under development, and it seemed to be no end in sight to it right now. Yeah,
because that world's greatest Hy-Vee and indoor amusement park that you referenced has quite a few businesses that have already been developed around it. And then the Gretna Landing thing that you mentioned is just to the west. We reported in late February that Noddle Companies is going to do a development within a development at Gretna Landing, 31-acre mixed use with a pretty large office building component. Now, the one negative we've heard about Gretna Landing is there are rumblings out there that Fleet Farm may or may not happen now.
Yeah, there was a real estate brochure that showed that lot was on the market. So no official comment from Fleet Farm, but usually the realtors know what's going on, and they might be shopping that around to see what they could find.
Yeah, my guess is if it is indeed true that Fleet Farm doesn't go there, if I were head of that project, I would probably go after a Target, a Lowe's, or a Home Depot. I think any of those would make sense there.
And then when I was looking on the county website after this Lerner announcement came out, just to the east, I noticed that CHI owns a bunch of land there too. So no announcement on that, but if they own the land, there's a possibility that they could build a CHI facility out there too.
Yeah, there have been rumblings about that for many, many years that they might do a suburban hospital out there. But like Brad said, though, none of that has been confirmed. So don't go saying, hey, CHI Health is building a suburban.
They just own the land.
They just own the land. That's us just kind of spitballing and projecting, if you will. Cool project downtown taking a step forward. The city council approved a TIF application for a multifamily apartment project at 2226 Howard Street Now, originally they were going to call this project Jefferson Place, but it's now been called, renamed the Mueller. That is the last name of the project developers, Brian and Lee Mueller. This is more than a $9.5 million project, going to be a 4-story building that will fill out just a quarter-acre site. It'll have 34 residential units in it, ground floor parking. Really cool project. Brian and Lee Mueller are an interesting story. I actually met them for a coffee a few weeks ago. They're going to be on the show this summer, but they moved here from Boston because they saw so much potential in the Omaha real estate market, and they want to do really cool urban projects, and this is one of their first ones. It actually fills in a little nice open space in a cluster of a lot of old brownstones and a recently completed 5-story building.
And is this another project we can contribute to the streetcar?
Yeah, absolutely. It's yet another streetcar project because it is clearly within that 5-block development zone. And many, many billions of dollars worth of real estate projects are to come along that zone. It'll really create a lot of wealth, a lot of jobs, and a lot of opportunity and badly needed residences in the urban core. Well, our final story of this week's news report takes us up to North Saddle Creek. Omaha City Council President Pete Festerson announced that there will be a groundbreaking for the $5 million revamp of a big chunk of North Saddle Creek. This is going to take place, the groundbreaking, Monday morning. And the project will increase walkability and pedestrian safety by widening sidewalks, adding a 10-foot pedestrian and bike path on the north side of the street. And it will also improve and upgrade a dangerous 5-way intersection, which is known as the Peanut. Yeah. This is that roundabout that is literally in the shape of a peanut, and it'll just be a lot better for the traffic to flow through there.
It's hard to believe that the Peanut is already getting changed. I mean, it seems like they just built that not that long ago.
Yeah, it's still relatively new. Yeah, but
there's a ton of potential in that part of town. I mean, around that Saddle Creek and area.
Yeah, the Peanut is at about 50th Street. So this is the part that most people on Saddle Creek, they think of going by the Med Center. Yeah. This is, you got to go up towards Hamilton and then you veer to the northwest. We're talking about that.
Sergeant Pepper's, Homey Inn, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. When you think of that area, you think of Sergeant Pepper's and Homey Inn. But there's a new coffee shop going in there, a new restaurant. So there's already a lot of momentum in that space. So a lot to look forward to. All right, that's your news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. We're going to take our first break of the hour, and when we come back, we're going to have one of our business feature segments, and this week we're featuring Core Bank. They are a thriving bank with a beautiful headquarters just west of Village Point. We have John Sorrell and David Hartman from Core Bank that are going to join us. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics. We have Brad Williams here substituting for Trenton Magin, and we'll be back after this right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals here sitting next to frequent contributor Brad Williams, who is substituting for Trenton Magid today, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. We want to introduce you today to Core Bank. Outstanding local Omaha bank, one of our key Grow Omaha sponsors, and they are the topic of today's business feature. We have with us officers of the bank, John Sorrell and David Hartman. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, thanks for being here, you guys. And I guess we'll just start, as we always do, with the 30,000-foot view question. Give us an overview of the bank, where it came from and what it's all about.
Sure. It's a locally owned, privately held bank. The Scott family in Omaha own us, and our big focus is on the business segment, and we have a very robust mortgage and construction residential, along with a wealth company as well.
And the headquarters is located just a little bit west of Village Point. Beautiful building, and that's still, and it's been a few years now, but still a relatively new place for the bank.
Yeah, we moved out there in December of 2018, and we take three floors of the building and are currently trying to lease the top space. So if you know of anyone, send them our way.
Well, we sometimes know of people. It would be a nice place to have an office. That's for sure. So what types of clients are most ideal for Core Bank? And since we're talking about on Grow Omaha, maybe we could focus a little bit more on the business to business side of the bank. Maybe kind of let us know who you look for and what's just right for the bank.
You know, we really specialize on all types of businesses, small business owners. There's a lot of definitions around small business owners, but we also work with probably 30 plus home builders in the community and have done that for a number of years. A lot of real estate investment, multifamily builders. We're trying to get in on the front end to do the construction. Hopefully then they filling up and go into the secondary market once they're filled up. But we really focus on the small business owner.
We're talking with John Sorrell and David Hartman from Core Bank here in Omaha. And David, you talked about real estate, and that's certainly a big focus area for us here on Grow Omaha. This real estate market around here has been pretty exciting. I mean, it's a little bit tougher because some rates have gone up compared to what they were a few years ago. But, just there's so many projects going on. Give us an overview about what the lending environment is like right now for real estate, and can we keep this momentum going for the foreseeable future?
Overall, it's still pretty active. There's still plenty of projects going on, as you referenced. I met with a developer earlier this week, and we discussed specifically multifamily, because I'm always kind of in the back of my head going, when do we hit a saturation point on multifamily? And he is pretty resolute to the fact that it's not going to happen for a while, that we still are going to need that those units coming out of the ground, because folks are just not moving into the creation of single-family homes as quickly as they were maybe 15, 20 years ago. They're staying in apartments where they can pick up the phone and call and have somebody else do the maintenance.
Yeah, we've talked about a few times on the show that, especially downtown, the market, I mean, some of these apartments are 90, 95% leased, and it seems like they can't build them fast enough right now.
Yeah, what has been surprising to me is the growth of apartments out west. Because my theory in my mind was always that there needed to be some place to shop, some place to get your groceries. And certainly the first ones out of the ground were the ones near our office, up on 185th and Dodge, which is like a small community. And I guess it's the old scenario: if you build it, they will come. Because certainly we have put some grocery stores, et cetera, other services around them. So,
are you seeing the residential faster or hotter than the retail right now, or?
Oh, most definitely.
Definitely, yeah.
It's interesting, David, that you talk about multifamily development and how hot that's been. There was a study that came out late last year that identified Omaha as one of the 10 most competitive rental markets for residential units. And it took into account both apartments and also single-family rental homes. But the survey said, and I'll be honest with you, I've had maybe a little bit of a tough time believing this. I haven't tried to rent a residential unit in a long time, but the statistic was there are 13 potential tenants competing for every one available residential rental unit in town. But yet our occupancy is only in the high 90s. I mean, it's still, you would think if there were 13 of them, the occupancy would be like 100% with a long way. But suffice it to say, there are still a lot of people looking for good rental units right now.
They are, and we work with a lot of folks that purchase 1 to 4 family homes and turn them into rentals. And the demand for that product is even higher than the new multifamily, because then maybe that's the next step to actually home ownership. They have a yard. They're probably responsible for that. We had one of the larger builders in the community now, D.R. Horton, basically built an entire subdivision of rental homes, and then spun them off to the secondary market. So
there's at least 4 of those kind of neighborhoods going up right now. Besides D.R. Horton, there's at least another 2 companies doing 3 different projects like that. It's kind of the big trend right now, I think. Well,
and that was another ranking that came out, Brad, just a few weeks ago. Omaha was a top 20 market for most build to rent construction, basically building things specifically for them to go to rentals. Now, of course, a lot of people are disturbed to hear that for understandable reasons, because we do know that home ownership tends to be really healthy for our society. But on the other hand, it's also a sign that we just have a lot of population growth, that we need to build these units for people that live here and want to live here.
I think it's frustrating there's a lot of people out there that want to be homeowners that just can't get into it right now. And it's kind of frustrating to see these for rent neighborhoods coming up where they think that would be a great place to live, but it's not what they're looking for.
Yeah. Well, we have with us John Sorrell and David Hartman from Core Bank. And let's talk a little bit about non-residential real estate right now. What are you guys seeing when it comes to the lending environment for office, retail, and industrial properties these days?
Well, the industrial property has been really strong. That has been a shining star in some of the real estate sectors. We have an office down in the greater Phoenix area, and we have done a couple of very nice projects down in that area. It's been very strong down there. Omaha, same way. And the office, we don't play in that space a lot. We do, as David mentioned, have a floor of space available in our building, but it's been strong here in Omaha. We also have a market in Kansas City, and it's shown in Overland Park a strong, resiliency for that. Obviously, the office in Phoenix is very high in terms of vacancy, but here in Omaha, we've managed that quite well.
So what's the deposit environment like lately? In my sales training, a lot of Omaha listeners know I do a lot of sales training, and I'm all over the country, and periodically I'll work with banks, and I hear a lot of banks say, gosh, we have a lot of people that want to take out loans, and that's great. That's a big part about what we do, but we also care a great deal about deposits. And
yes.
What's the deposit environment like these days?
That is a tough piece of business for us right now in our industry. I think for so long there were so low of rates, and there wasn't a big return on that. And now people during COVID and afterwards, and the rates going up the way they did, they are looking for better rates, and they're going outside the traditional bank footprint to do that, and going direct to the Treasury or going to money funds that, maybe the insurance isn't such a big play for them anymore. But it's tough because we take in deposits and we loan those back out in the community. And so that's been our biggest limitation. The demand in Omaha is strong for lending. We could do it every day, and we do it every day, but it's been a challenge in the deposit side.
So we've got to wrap up our conversation, this business feature with Core Bank. And gentlemen, I guess I'll ask you, what is it about Core Bank that makes it stand out from the competition? We probably have a lot of listeners here saying, I'm always open-minded about a different bank. Why should they come to Core Bank?
I think we support the community very strongly. When I was thinking about the name of your show, Grow Omaha, what we do every day and the customers that we serve, we're trying to grow their businesses. We're trying to grow their families. We're trying to grow their investment income. And we are very strong in providing 2 days of volunteer service to every employee to go out into the community. So I think we're just the great example of what community banks do, and we try to live that every day.
Well, it's an outstanding organization, and John Sorrell and David Hartman, we appreciate you guys being here on Grow Omaha today, and we also appreciate Core Bank being one of our key sponsors. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Our pleasure. That was John Sorrell and David Hartman from Core Bank. We're going to take our middle of the show break, and that means we've got the news and the weather. And when we come back, Brad and I will have all sorts of things we want to share with you, so stay with us. Much more to come. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals here in the KFAB studio high above Underwood Avenue in beautiful downtown Dundee, sitting next to Brad Williams. He is the owner of Brad Williams Photography and also with E&A Consulting a very respected civil engineering firm in Omaha. Brad substituting for Trenton, who's taken a couple weeks off from the show, but he will be back next week. I want to give a big shout out to our title sponsors. They are Cheer Athletics. That is the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. They have 15 locations in the world, one of them right here in Omaha, specifically southwest of Highways 50 and 370 in Papillion. And then Dingman's Collision Center is the Best of Omaha award winner all of the time. They are the best place to go if you get a scratch or a dent, need any sort of body work. They even have mechanical services and 4 metro area locations. All right, it's time for your Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week. This is when we talk about activities in or around one of the Noddle Company's many local projects. Noddle has been a developer in the Omaha area for decades now, and they do projects all over town and in a variety of other geographic markets across the country. We mentioned earlier, talking about 370 during the news, that Noddle Companies is doing a 31-acre development as part of Gretna Landing. But for this report today, we're going to focus on Exarban Village. We have 2 things coming up at Exarban Village. Number one, First State Bank is going to hold a grand opening at 6457 Francis Street in Exarban Village on May 9th, 4 to 7 p.m. So congratulations to them. And then tomorrow is the first of the season. The Exarban Farmers Market starts. That will be every Sunday starting tomorrow through October 12th. From 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you're in the Exarban area, stop by. Today, you can go to the farmers market in the Old Market. So Saturdays in the Old Market, Sundays at Exarban Village. All right. Well, Brad, I want to share a couple little restaurants that I went to this week. The first one was Santoro Restaurant. This is owned by Jesus Rivera, who gained a lot of fame owning Rivera's at 120th and Blondo. They closed over a year ago. People loved the place. They missed it. Santoro is different, but there are a lot of things about Santoro that reminded me of Rivera's, namely the salsa, which I always love. But they opened, I think it was Tuesday, at 8601 Dodge Street. This is the very long building that essentially acts as a retaining wall for the Leo A. Daily behind and above it. But Santoro's on the far east end, really close to where the mental health hospital is under construction for children's. And the space was actually built to be the boiler room for that building back when the building was built in the 60s. But they don't use it for that, so they've turned it into a restaurant. So the restaurant's kind of sunken. You go down. It is really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to try it. I loved Rivera's. I've known Jesus for forever. And I saw the pictures that we posted. I did not take those, but the pictures that we posted on Grow Omaha, and it looked like a beautiful place.
Yeah, in fact, when we went, my wife and daughter and I went Thursday night, and we actually sat on that patio. And even though it was kind of chilly night, we were comfortable because the patio's sunken down there, so there's really no wind coming in there. And it's just when you're on the patio, it kind of reminded me of being in Mexico.
And the patio is kind of sheltered by the building, and in the summer it'll be great because it's on the east side of the building, so you won't have the sun on you. It's going to be a great place. Yeah,
real nice addition to the Omaha restaurant lineup. Then the other place I wanted to mention, last night I had dinner at a place that Chris Corey reviewed several weeks ago as part of our Grow Omaha Eats restaurant review series. And it is Ruhlman's in Ashland. Really enjoyed that. And Chris told me, he said, when you go to Ruhlman's, you'll be surprised how good the old-fashioned is for the price. I would agree. I actually had the bacon-infused old-fashioned. Cha-ching. It was pretty darn good.
Now I'm thirsty.
Yeah, so if you want to go out and try it, it's a cool place. It's in Ashland, about a 5-minute drive from Nebraska Crossing. Probably maybe 35 minutes from downtown Omaha, unless there's a big traffic jam or something like that. So it's easy to get to. And gosh, Ashland is really doing some cool things. After dinner, we walked around downtown Ashland, and the shops are quaint. The buildings are historic and well preserved.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, how they've done a great job in downtown Ashland, preserving everything, making it just a historic-looking small town downtown. It's really nice. And like you said, from anywhere in southwest Omaha, Ashland is a very quick drive. go down to the outlet malls and hang right on Highway 6, and you're there in no time.
Well, we're going to share a little bit of news that's kind of about us, but I don't think you'll mind us sharing it with you because it's basically a recognition for Grow Omaha and for everything Grow Omaha has been over the last 21 years. And a lot of that is because you listen to the show and you read our articles and you subscribe to our newsletter. But Trenton and I are going to be inducted as the 182nd Face on the Barroom Floor. This is a very cool tradition from the Omaha Press Club. It goes back to 1971. And this is when the Press Club recognizes people in media like Grow Omaha, Trenton and me, who started the show. But then they'll also sometimes recognize business leaders or celebrities from Omaha. Politicians and all that. So Trenton and I are absolutely thrilled and honored to be the 182nd face on the barroom floor at the Omaha Press Club. And when they ever do this, they always have a dinner and a ceremony, and they have some people that will roast the recipients. And guess who one of the roasters is for us at Grow Omaha, Trenton and me?
Me.
Brad Williams, and he'll be accompanied by Chris Corey.
Yeah, Chris and I are going to be up there, along with Scott Voorhees and Gary Saddlemeyer. I am very honored and completely nervous all at the same time. I got a month to think about this, and I am already losing sleep over it. He's like, he knows so many things to roast Trenton and me about, he can hardly even come up with it. But if you want to find out more about it, there's an article on growomaha.com. It's titled Omaha Press Club to Honor Grow Omaha Founders as Next Face on the Barroom Floor. And if you feel like signing up for the event, it is the evening of Thursday, May 22nd. If you decide to go, Trenton and I would love to see you there and shake your hand and meet you. But we're really excited about it. And thanks to the Press Club for choosing us for this honor. We could not be happier. We could not be more honored by this thing. And we're so excited to make it happen. And Brad, thanks for being one of our roasters along with Chris. I appreciate it. It's quite the honor.
And it'll be awesome having Gary Saddlemeyer MC it and Scott Voorhees from KFAB also taking a few shots at us.
The company you will be joining in that 185 faces is incredible. I mean, you're going to be part of an incredible list of Omaha people. So.
Well, thanks for saying that. And in fact, Trent and I went down there for an orientation lunch. We were walking around and we saw some of the faces on the wall. And I said, look at that, Trenton. Johnny Carson, Bob Devaney, and Trenton Magid. That's who we're kind of hanging out with.
That's quite the list.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to take our final break of the hour. And when we come back, Brad and I are going to take you through the lightning round by Perkins Kreitzer Construction. And that's when we go through a lot of things really fast. That's the list. There are a lot of things on it, so stay with us. You're not going to want to miss this. You're listening to Grow Omaha. Brad Williams substituting for Trenton Magid. The sponsors are Dingman's Collision Center, Cheer Athletics, and Perkins Kreitzer Construction. We'll be back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB. It's the Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things really fast. Thanks to Perkins Kreitzer Construction for making this happen. They are the company you want in your virtual Rolodex, because anytime a project comes up, we need to build something. Oh my goodness, we're expanding. Oh geez, we have to have another location. Just call Dave Kreitzer and his team at Perkins Kreitzer Construction. They will give you a beautiful building with the right budget, with the right timeline, and they have the track record to back it up. I've gotten to know so much about Perkins Kreitzer Construction over the last couple of years. I've personally driven out to see their projects and the completed buildings they've done, and I can vouch they are a top-notch Class A general contractor. You can learn more about Perkins Kreitzer Construction by just going to their website. It is p-cconstruction.com. All right, well, Brad Williams is here substituting for Trent. Let's just go through a few things real fast, all right?
Good.
Former Applebee's by Oakview Mall is going to be Clase, Código, Cochina, and Tequila. So it looks like an upscale Mexican restaurant. Interior renovations are underway. Boy, there is a long list of former Applebee's that are now something else.
It's like all the old Taco Bells back in the day. Remember all those with the 3 round windows in the front?
Yeah.
Now they're all Subways and other...
Or Chinese restaurants or something like that. The Daily, a fast casual sandwich shop, plans to open this month at 121st and West Center Road in Bel Air Plaza. Really cool concept. It's going to feature emerging chefs who will rotate through the kitchen, testing and refining their concepts before they move on to open their own businesses. So this will be just adjacent to the recently opened historic or prehistoric putt
yep.
that is in that area. Chick Bo Bao, which is a Korean restaurant in North Omaha. We announced a while back, several months ago, they were going to go to a space on Howard Street in the Old Market. Not true. They're still going into the Old Market, but now they're going to go into a space on 13th Street that used to be Poke Boba House, and before that was Julio's.
Yeah, I remember the Julio's was there for a long time.
Yeah, forever. But apparently they decided that was a better space for them. So Chick Bo Bao coming soon. The exact address is 510 South 13th Street. Got a new restaurant in the heart of the South Omaha Commercial District, right at 24th and Inn. That's going to open. It's called La Casa del Pollo. And this is just part of a whole big bunch of improvements that are going into that public square there that's known as Plaza de la Raza. It's not much of a plaza right now, but it's going to be. They're going to take over a lot of the parking lot that's on the west side of the plaza. And it's going to be a really cool revamped public space that's supposed to be getting underway here pretty quick.
That whole 24th Street corridor is just so lively and vibrant. I mean, out of any of the neighborhoods in Omaha, they probably have the most foot traffic of any of them. There's just always people down there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's got to be the best street scene. And the shops there always like put merchandise out on the sidewalk. It's just kind of a fun place to hang out. If you haven't done it for a long time, give it a try sometime. Vic's Corn Popper has partnered with Godega Market at 11th and Howard and Old Market. So if you want to get Vic's Corn Popper popcorn, you can get it in the Godega. Of course, Godega is also planning on going to Exarban Village later this year. Wild Chicken Grill has opened a second location at 82nd and Giles in La Vista Bonita, as I like to call it, in a former building that was once Long John Silver's and A&W. Early Bird opened earlier this week at Village Point in the former Paradise Bakery space. And this is a real cool sounding business. The Barker Building at 15th and Farnham is going to be home to the Reading Lounge, which is going to take over a space that was once the Omaha Lounge. And they're not only going to have alcohol there, but they're going to have coffee and all that. Looks like it'll be pretty cool.
Awesome. And it still has the old shoe store look in there, right?
Yeah, all the finished wood.
Yeah.
Real neat. Today, there is a grand opening and ribbon cutting for Nuestra Familia Supermercado in South Omaha 51st and Harrison. Music's playing, which means that Brad and I have to stop talking. But Brad, thanks for being here today.
Hey, thanks. I really enjoy doing this.
That is Brad Williams from E&A Consulting and Brad Williams Photography. Trenton will be back next week. We appreciate you joining us. Show's been brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, Perkins Kreitzer Construction, and Cheer Athletics. We'll chat with you next week at 9 o'clock right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.